Blurbs and greetings. We've got once again a lovely new card, retro bit of goodness from TexElec. I bought this once I saw it was available because I've been really looking forward to this. So this right here is the Resound New Wave MCA sound card for Microchannel architecture IBM PS2's a sound blaster for the PS2 range of machines that have microchannel. Like that one, which we will be installing it into here momentarily. But this is just great. It's got that brilliant white PCB, as is the TexElec trademark. Lovely design, laid out all nice and tidy. It's just such a cool looking thing. Yeah, this is based on the Snark Barker MCA by Tube Time US. As a variant of it, with some notable changes. For instance, there is no microphone input. That's just gone, which doesn't bother me. I don't really use that on old sound blasters. There's also an OPL3 FM synth on there from Yamaha, the YMF262M, which is a solid choice. The original Sound Blaster MCA cards had an OPL2. And yeah, it does not use the original DAC. Those, I mean, Sound Blaster DACs, what are you going to do? So it has a modern alternative in here, as well as some slight modifications to, I don't know, the cutoff, the low-pass filter. Yeah, it's basically the roll-off has just been altered a bit to make it sound a little bit less muddy, a little more crisp. And yeah, I am very curious to hear what this thing sounds like, because I was also very impressed with their Resound 2 OPL3 MCA card, which is just an AdLib, but it's fantastic. Just finding any MCA sound card whatsoever is a task, and a very expensive one. And, oh hey, the white is slightly different between the two. Look at that. Anyway, MCA AdLib cards and Sound Blaster cards, you're going to be paying thousands of dollars if you can find one. At least last time I checked, I don't know, they come up so rarely that I don't even know what they would go for anymore at this point. So another slight difference, yeah, this the AdLib version, this had just a generic, I think I took this from an old network adapter and just put this bracket on there because the PS2 bracket is a little weird. And this card didn't come with one when I got it, so it's one of those things where they recommended doing this, so that's what I did. Just took that from an old card. However, this new one, that's why it has this 3D printed bracket going on. Yeah, not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's fine. And I'm glad that it is a thing that they're offering. Because, yeah, otherwise you just have this bare card and it sort of flops around a little bit in the back, and nobody wants a floppy card. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get this installed here in a moment. Before we do, let me just bring up the website here. And again, I did pay for it. It's a little more expensive than pretty much everything else they sell, which makes sense. These components, you know, there's more of them. It's more advanced. It is what it is. But compared to an original, I mean, holy crap, you're paying such a fraction of what a Sound Blaster would be for, yeah, the Sound Blaster MCV Model CT 5320. That is what it's seeking to, or, you know, the Snark Barker project, that's what it's based on. And then this is based on that. So, you get that right there, Sound Blaster and AdLib compatible, OPL3 FM stereo output, but only operates as an OPL2 in Sound Blaster mode. Digital audio playback up to 44.1 kilohertz mono, which is then mixed out into stereo. And yeah, you do get Sound Blaster MIDI and a joystick. Yeah, 15-pin game port right there, which may or may not work depending on your computer, but we'll probably get to that. Because microchannel DMA conflicts and all sorts of stupidity, it is an adventure. So yeah, in functionality, it's pretty much equivalent to the good old Sound Blaster 2.0 ISA card, the CT1350. Oh yeah, That's another thing. There's no SAA 1099 chips for Game Blaster support. And, you know, it'd be nice to have. It's not a huge deal. Like, how often do I actually run any games with Game Blaster support? Very, very rarely. And I have CT1350B cards and an actual Game Blaster and things whenever I want to do that on any of my other systems. So yeah, lowering the cost with things like taking out the microphone and the Game Blaster compatibility, it makes sense. So yeah, it's a fascinating iteration of the Snark Barker project. I've been following that on Vogons and the Tube Time Twitter. I love that these projects are a thing. So yeah, enough rambling. Let's get this thing installed in my PS2 Model 90 XP486. Squeaky rubber feet. There we go. This thing sings on this tabletop. All right, get this unplugged so we can reach what we need to. I'm going to put it in slot 4 here. That's what I had the AdLib Resound 2 going in there, but took that out, so it's going to go in there. The little screw at the bottom there, the bracket's going to go in. And there we go. Simple as that. And now at this point, the only thing left is to grab our reference disc for this particular PS2 and set it up. Yeah, as with any of these cards, there's going to be a file that you get, and that'll let the computer know what to do with the card in there, because it'll give you an error on startup. I kind of showed that in the video that I did about this, so you can see more about that. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead here to the thing installed and try out some games. Okay, PS2 Model 90 XP 486 DX2 going here. Cards already installed and configured actually, but we'll go ahead and start it up here and get it into the programs. We can, yeah, go ahead and set up. We can check out some stuff. But I just copied over the ADF file, which you need in order to get these cards set up. Just standard operating procedure for PS2s with Microchannel. Much like the previous card from TexElec, this one needed an ADF as well. And so yeah, I just copied over the Sound Blaster version to here, and it's already on here. So we can go into set configuration, and then we can view the configuration. And yeah, there it is. In slot 4, the New Wave MCA. 220H for the I/O address, IRQ5, DMA1, standard Sound Blaster stuff. Joystick is not enabled, and this is a known thing on actually a lot of these Microchannel PS2s. It'll just detect that there's a conflict or something, even though there usually isn't, from what I understand. I don't know. Apparently you can get around this by editing that ADF file and then copying over an edited version, so it just skips the conflict check for the joystick port, and then you can enable it that way. I just haven't done that. TexElec showed that in their video on their channel about this card, so yeah, not worried about it. If I ever want to enable the joystick support through this card on here, I can do that just by editing the file. But at the moment, I don't really care. I just want to hear what it sounds like. I've already heard what it sounds like, but we're going to go ahead and check it out for your sake. And yeah, there's no setup or anything in terms of software or drivers, at least for DOS. There is, Windows is on here, and you do have Sound Blaster Microchannel versions of those cards. There's drivers available for Windows, but I only have Windows 3.0 on here, and it's not the one with multimedia extensions. I don't even know if the Sound Blaster is supported in Windows 3.0 at all. It is in 3.1 and 95. I just don't have those on here. So we're going to play some DOS games, which for the most part just recognize a Sound Blaster anyway, because they've got their own drivers. And let me get a closer up shot here so we can see some stuff. Okay, starting with, of course, we're going to have Duke 3D here. And yeah, I now have the full version on here instead of just shareware, so that's fun. And yeah, we've got just Sound Blaster and AdLib stuff going on. So AdLib, just to test the FM synth. So yeah, you can put that into Sound Blaster mode and it'll do the same thing, because that's how it treats it. It doesn't really matter at all, but using that chip. And then if we go into Sound Blaster, we can just select Sound Blaster, and I've got it set to Sound Blaster or compatible. We have these others, but you know, I mean, it's just mono, mixing it to stereo. 8 voices, 44 kilohertz. It does support that, so. And you don't get the left and right individual testing because, like I said, it's mono. Mixing to stereo, it doesn't really affect the game. It's just kind of how it is with an OG Sound Blaster like this. It's just awesome to have Sound Blaster support. Nice. Now, it's not going to run amazingly well because this is the system that it is. But still, we've got sound.
Dang, those alien bastards are gonna pay for shooting up my ride.
Awesome. So yeah, it is good old Sound Blaster. Whoops.
Hail to the king, baby.
Nice. You know, it's just especially fun in Duke 3D to have a Sound Blaster because without it, you get no sound effects, not even PC speaker, no AdLib sounds, you know, like trying to make up its own FM synthy sounds. You just don't get anything. So it's a very oddly quiet game without a Sound Blaster or compatible doing PCM sounds.
Holy cow.
So, you know, like as awesome as it was to have this AdLib MCA OPL3 card from TexElec, this is just multiple steps up for certain games like this. Even though they don't necessarily run very well on a machine like this. So let's run something that will run a little bit better. Like Zargon, perhaps. I think I tried that with the AdLib version previously. There we go. Digital Sound Blaster sound effects. Yes. So that sounds excellent, but at this point, it's no different than an AdLib. However, there we go. Got sound effects, digital sound. How exciting. And yeah, it sounds exactly exactly as it should, for better or worse. A lot of the sounds are rather obnoxious, but I find them charming. Yep. It's a Sound Blaster. Exactly as it should be. No complaints whatsoever with Zargon. Sounds fantastic. Actually, you know what? I think I haven't tried Jill on here yet. Jill the Jungle, perhaps. You never know what kind of results you're going to get with this, but perhaps it'll be fine. Usually it's great with an original Sound Blaster, so that sounds great. Let's go to the noisemaker. Oh yeah. Again, no complaints. That is just how it should sound, and that's how it sounds. What else we got in here? Lots of good things. We get Epic Pinball. That's a enjoyable one for Sound Blaster, because he has no AdLib support whatsoever. It does have PC speaker, which is how I played it as a kid. Put it to well, a Sound Blaster clone. How about that? High quality. Hey. Oh yeah. That's nice. Nice and crispy. Sounds clean. No popping or clicking or any weird jitteriness. You get some strange results on this one with later Sound Blasters or weird clones. Sounds good though. For, you know, basically a Sound Blaster 2.0 equivalent. There's no sound. Oh, there it is. A little bit of a delay there. Weird. I want to go up that one ramp. It's okay. Yep. Sounds great, plays great, super smooth. Like I said, you don't get any weird judders or jitters or... It can just... It's so... back and forth with this particular game, which is why it makes a good test, I think. Again, it sounds nice and clear, which is awesome. No Gravis ultrasound, but it'll certainly do. Better than I've heard some Sound Blasters sound. Let's see. Let's try one or two more. Oh, good old Terry in 2000. I mean, come on now. Ah. There's a problem. What's that about? I just straight up locked up. Could be because of whatever settings I had, because I just copied that over from another PC. It was configured a little differently, and I haven't cleared out the settings. Let's give it another shot. We'll see if we can try it again. That worked. So yeah, it must have been a problem with the whatever configure thing, whatever. What am I trying to say? The configuration was screwed. I have had that happen before. OPL3 sounds great. See if we can get, don't want that high detail. Let's just do that, 486. Interesting. So we'll have to do the configuration. Well. Fascinating. It does not like this card. I'm going to say it's probably due to the version of Tyrian that I'm running, because that is a later one, Tyrian 2000, and it's more optimized for like Windows sound system type of compatible cards. I'm betting if I went over to like an earlier version of just straight up Tyrian, I usually have better results with that with older sound cards. But I don't know, I'm just spitballing. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not gonna blame the card itself for that. I'm sure that's just a game version problem more than anything else. Because yeah, everything else has been great so far. Let's try. I mean, obviously, always a solid choice. Sweet. Doom. Oh, I remember something in TexElec's video about Doom being weird and running into this. Yeah, same exact problem.
Okay, it crashed, but that sort of happens on this system. But if you use DOS 32A, supposedly you can get it to work. Let's give that a try.
Well, I don't have that on here. Huh. So it's like another DOS extender you can use instead of DOS 4GW. All right. So again, that's just a weird PS2 thing. And that's sort of what you're going to continue to run into when you have any of these microchannel PS2s, man. It has been an adventure using this over the years. There are so many things that I figured would like just work, and then they don't. And stuff that I figured would be way more involved to configure, and it just is fine. So anyway, again, this right here, I guess not a fault of the card. I've never actually tried to run. Oh, that straight up froze it. I've never tried to run Doom on here. This is what happens, LGR blurbs. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just testing things out on camera. Rambling and blurbing away as I figure things out on the fly. No preparation, very little research. The heck, man. The heck. All of the heck. Suffice it to say that this is why I never actually recommend a PS2 microchannel machine to anyone who wants to like get into old computers for like a DOS gaming rig or whatever, or you know. Oh man. How's about Duke 2? Because this one can be strange as well. All these shareware games. Oh, there we go. Alright. Yeah, because we got them both enabled. I mean, that's what I was going to see if we could do, and we can, so... Yeah, I've always appreciated the extra oomph that you get when you enable both AdLib and Sound Blaster at the same time on this one. Because yeah, if you get rid of, let's just do AdLib only. Here's what you get. I like those sounds. They're nostalgic. But when you enable Sound Blaster only, and then, not that, you enable them both at the same time, it's weird. You get this mix between the two. And because the two kind of work independently from each other, I think, yeah. You end up with like some of the sounds layering. It's, I don't know. I just always like the way it sounds with both at the same time. Neat. That works well. What else we got on here? Stunt, that's not stunts, that's stunt driver. I think it's got a manual copy protection check, can't do that. Commander Keen, I got those on here, but that's just AdLib only. Rise of the Triad, I guess. It's just another Apogee thing. Yeah, I'll just do Jazz. Jazz Jackrabbit. It's got some Sound Blaster stuff going on. Yep. Let's turn the music down so I can hear just the sounds.
Rapid fire.
Nice.
Yum.
Yeah, it's that classic Sound Blaster kind of crunchiness, aliasing.
Ow.
Not bad though, at all.
Ow.
To my ear, just sounds like Sound Blaster, you know. Hard to really tell because I'm listening to it through these just traditionally terrible speakers that I like to use on quick setups like
What are you
this.
doing?
I don't know what I'm doing, Jazz. Yeah. Good stuff. Really good stuff. Pretty much all the problems I'm running into are just the result of the system itself. Is the PS2 experience for you. Microchannel stupidity, IBM being dumb, and just various weirdness going on with these machines. They were never designed for gaming, and some of the versions of the games, like Tyrion there, I think that is just a version issue. Doom not running, that's normal. So, it is what it is, I guess. Yeah, I'm really happy with this card, honestly. Does exactly what it's supposed to do. Drawbacks included, and again, most of that coming from the system. You know, PS2's microchannel, it's always a crapshoot. Always is. Thanks for watching.